Hi, it's Celeste Majors, your canary in the coal mine. So today I wanted to tell you a little personal story. One of the reasons why I call myself your canary in the coal mine is because things seem to have happened to me in my life that I had to figure out because the normal procedures didn't work for me. And then years later, finally, some generally available information started to catch up to what was happening with my body. But I'd already solved the problem. So that's some of the information I pass along with you, to you, is stuff like that. It's stuff that I worked through it, I figured out a path through it, and now I want to pass it on to you. So, in my part of the country here, a lot of people have been experiencing a real heavy dose of airborne allergies. And we had a lot of rain this spring, and there was a lot of things in bloom. And so they were very, a lot of people have been having a lot of difficulty, and they're walking around with, scratchy eyes and a lot of plugged up heads and a lot of nose blowing and sneezing and everything. And I wanted to tell you the story about me. When I was about 10 or 11 years old, two of the conditions that showed up for me, one was airborne allergies and the other was migraine headaches. And that was just part of my long path through various kinds of immune system reactions. So I just did the standard things. I slept with a bottle of nasal spray under my pillow, and I struggled to breathe at night, and in the hot weather, this was pre-air conditioning, so in the hot weather it was a toss-up whether or not I wanted to leave the windows open to get a little air in my bedroom or close the windows to try to keep out as much of the pollen and stuff as possible. When I was a kid, I was still the one who had to mow the lawn, and oh my God, I'd mow the lawn and I'd be miserable, and so anyway, that lasted throughout the remainder of my childhood and as long as I lived in the Midwest. I had lived after college, which was still in Illinois. I moved to Missouri, I moved to Indiana, I moved to Ohio, and all those, and Oklahoma. Oklahoma wasn't as bad, but all those states I was really miserable with airborne allergies, especially in the late summer. Then when I moved to the coasts, a lot of that went away. And I made a vow with myself I would never again live in a part of the country where I had such severe allergies because I was so miserable. Well, about 11 years ago, when my mother got elderly and she wanted to stay here in Illinois, and I came back to help her, I was very concerned. And I remember I came back in about April, and I thought, well, when August rolls around, if I have that same want to claw my eyes out, want to tear my throat out, can't sleep at night, for the next 2 months and stuff, I am not staying here. I mean, I'm going back to where I was living in Florida, and we'll just have to deal with things long distance, although that's very hard nowadays. And the first summer came and went, and nothing much happened. And I didn't understand that, but okay, good enough. Well, I've now been here 11 years, and I was chatting with a woman the other day who was having all the usual symptoms and was just miserable. And I found myself saying to her, I think what's happened with me is that through all the other food and lifestyle changes I have made to reduce the total stimulation to my immune system and bring it down as low as possible. I put air filters in the house. I don't eat triggering foods. I rearranged my bedroom. I just do everything I can think of, everything that I've read about or been told that might help to stop overstimulating my immune system. And I think the net result is that my body can tolerate what it does have to tolerate in those airborne pollens and stuff much better, and I don't kick off that whole big histamine reaction in my body anymore. So I wanted to plant the bug of that in your head, that if you've got allergies, it might be worthwhile to examine how you could eat more cleanly and live more cleanly as a method for dealing with the allergies, rather than choosing to use products that only offer symptom relief, like Benadryl and the various Claritin and all the various over-the-counter meds. They're just trying to manage the reaction. And what I'm saying is you can work on stopping the reaction. You can work on pulling your whole reactivity down to a lower level so that you don't have to experience those symptoms. Because it worked for me. It's not 100% it'll work for you, but it would be worth a try to see if you could be a lot more comfortable during whatever is your allergy season by reducing the total load on your body. So that's all I have for today, and I want you to get well and stay well. Thanks.